Hello everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Destiny video. It's been a fairly slow news cycle since the last major announcement came up, which was the announcement of the new set, Way of the Force. Today I was checking out Reddit, and I saw that there were a couple new spoilers released. These apparently came from, or come from, Game Trade Magazine. Apparently the newest issue has a small article on Star Wars Destiny. The article basically talks about what we already know from the new set, such as having certain cards that will be better when paired with that character, for example, like General Grievous's wheel bike and so on. They go on to talk about Luke Skywalker and being able to resolve his shield dice as melee damage and so on. Anyway, let's get to the spoilers here. First up, we have Cassian Andor. We've wanted him for a while. We always kind of wondered what he would do when they actually did make the card, and now we have him. So 10 health for 10 points or 14, depending on if you want to run a single die or run him at elite. That's pretty good because it's point of health per cost point, which is always good. He has, this is yellow, Cassian Andor, Rebel Operative. Again, 10 health, 1 rage, 2 rage, discard, resource blank, character leader, so leader is his subtype. And the ability, after you resolve this die, you may deal 1 indirect damage to an opponent or discard the top card of a deck. This is really cool. So I like his side, so he has no modifiers, no resource cost sides or anything like that. Can deal damage, can mill, so he can fit into a damage deck. He can fit into a mill deck as well. So whenever you resolve his dice or his character dice, you either get to do 1 indirect or discard a card. So let's say you're trying mill here. Let's say you try to get his discard sides. You discard cards out of their hand. You then discard a card out of their deck. Or if you want to have it be a hybrid deck where you're dealing damage and milling, you can do that as well. I like his points. So 14 points for elite, which means you can pair him at elite with a single die Jin or a single die K2SO. You could also pair elite Jin or an elite K2 with a single die Cassian. I think he's going to fit into a lot of different decks, especially let's say like you have Jedha Partisans. You could run elite Cassian with 2 Partisans, have indirect damage and mill in there as well. And again, the problem with indirect damage is your opponents are choosing where to put that damage. Cassian can put that damage directly onto certain characters, and then you could also have your opponent assign indirect with his ability or have them get rid of cards. So, a really cool card here. We have something else, another card called Torment, which is partially obscured. It looks like it's probably going to be a yellow villain upgrade. So, 1 resource. I can see a D, so I don't know if the D is for red. So maybe after a red character is defeated, I can see it says something. Character is defeated. You may exhaust this upgrade to gain 1 resource. That's what I'm seeing from what's shown so far. So it looks like you kill a character, you exhaust this, you gain a resource for doing that. I believe it will be probably blue villain. We also have a Podracer die. No card to go with it, but we know this Podracer has a shield, 2 indirect damage, and 1 indirect damage. At first, when I was reading the article and looking at this image on Reddit, I thought it was possibly Sebulba's Podracer, but upon zooming into the die further, it looks more like Gasgano's Podracer. I don't know if they're going to have unique pod racers in the game, like as in supports, or if this will just be a generic pod racer support die. It would be interesting if they did have a couple individual unique pod racers, like some Bulbas or maybe Anakin's. Maybe do Anakin's pod racer, some Bulba's pod racer, and maybe a generic like this one, even though it does look more like Gasgano's. But we know now we have 2 indirect sides and the shield side on that. So just a couple cards spoiled here today, and got a pod racer die, but we don't know the other sides or if it has a special or what else the card can do if it has any kinds of abilities. But we're really looking forward to Cassian. I think he's going to fit into a lot of different builds for probably mill and damage because he's got 2 damage sides, 2 mill sides, very similar to Jin. So Jin has I believe it's 2 range, 2 range, 2 discard, 1 discard. And I like that Cassian has similar size, even though less powerful sides. So again, Jin had a two side. Cassian has a one range side, while Jin had a two. Cassian has a single discard, while Jin had a single and a double discard side. But the ability looks like it can be really flexible. You can get that indirect damage when you need it, or just start getting rid of cards off the top of a deck. Again, like you pair them with Jet of Partisans, and then they're both those cards will trigger if you do the indirect damage through his ability. I don't know if he's going to be legendary, possibly rare. I think for him to be legendary, he would probably maybe need more health, possibly like 11 health, and maybe instead of it being a one range, have it be a two range. Um, Again, because the Luke Skywalker pack here is kind of obscuring the rarity. But I wouldn't be surprised if they make him legendary, but I'm guessing he'll probably just be rare. But that's Cassian. We have Torment, which looks like you get rid of you kill characters and then get resources. Again, some of the card is obscured, so I can't really tell. And then we have that Podracer. So again, a slow news cycle for Destiny, but we had a couple spoilers today. That's going to do it for this video. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.